My name is Ciara Hyland and I'm a director. I always wanted to make things. That was always kind of my interest. I loved, growing up, I loved things like art and I loved things like English, and they were my kind of strongest subjects, and I kind of had a bit of a passion for them. And I suppose film for me marries both those things. It's about stories, it's about ideas, it's about characters, but it's also about the visual and the aesthetic, and I suppose the creative and the technical, and I just really wanted to work in an area that allowed me to explore all of those things. So I studied film, and then I spent several years learning my craft after I finished college by crewing on features and documentaries and some advertising stuff. And then basically from there I moved into directing. So essentially, as a director, the buck stops with you. You are the final decision maker, and everything really, that's in that frame and everything that gets shot it stops with you. And the ultimate success or failure creatively of what you're making is your responsibility. A lot of my job is made an awful lot easier because the people who run their departments, my head of departments, are amazingly gifted and talented too. And I think a really good director works very collaboratively and very creatively with other people who are also really good at what they do. I think as a director, if you're too tight about holding on to the reins of everything, it's actually to the detriment of the film. But I think if you can work with other people that are really gifted and really creative and bring the best out of them, they're going to give you their best, and everybody cares about making the best that they possibly can, and everybody's on the same journey as you. And I feel really lucky to be able to do what I do because I adore it, and I can't imagine ever doing anything else. This is who I am, this is what I do, and I don't think I'd be fit for really any other profession. It can be sometimes quite stressful, but the joy in it, and the sheer fun in it, and the fact that you get to make things and work with really talented writers and actors and camera people and editors and musicians, it brings a lot of joy to my life, and so I wouldn't change it in any way, shape or form. My big advice would be learn from people who know more than you. That's the single biggest thing. It is a craft as much as an art, and an art is sometimes about the raw talent that you bring to the table, but a craft is something that you hone and practice and learn, and there is an awful lot of craft involved in filmmaking, and I think learn from people who've been doing it for 20 years, 30 years. Just have the humility to realize that you do need to learn that and practice that craft. And I think if you understand how every department works and how this whole shooting machine works, you are in a much better position then to be able to steer that machine in the direction that you need it to go in when you're shooting, to get the footage and the material that you need. You can't just walk out of college and know how to do that unless you've spent time on working sets, and I think that's the single biggest piece of advice. Go get that time, spend your time on working sets, learn from other people, see how it's all done, understand every single part of the process. I've seen so many first-time directors just without that experience go onto a set and really muck up and get so discouraged by the results. They think it's so crappy that they'll never do it again. Or worse, if they've been hired to do it and paid to do it, they'll actually never be hired or paid to do it a second time. So that's why I think it's really important to learn the craft.